No, don't worry, I've got time.
We haven't.
Hello. Hello to anyone watching live, or anybody watching it back. So here we are. We're coming to the end of July, which is incredible. Means that we've actually, Business Blonde's been doing this for over a year now, this show, which has gone very fast, incredibly fast. Thank you to people who subscribed and joined us and been guests so far. It's been amazing. And there's only 3 of us today. Kim Adele is having what Caroline so beautifully puts, her pink time. She's out for the day with her daughter. And I think that probably reflects what we're seeing around us, people having fun now and moving towards the summer, school holidays, hopefully time for reflection as well and a bit of rest, which is what the theme of today is going to be between the 3 of us. And so how are you girls? How are you? How's life? Sam, how's things going for you at the moment?
I'm really well, thank you. I've been plagued with this dreaded summer cold that's just been going around everywhere. So yeah, this week's been a bit of a struggle with school holidays, not feeling great and busy. But having said all of that, everybody is feeling just so positive at the moment, which as you know, I talk about it all the time. I feed off other people's energy. So I'm really grateful to have such positive people around me that I can just suck their energy, and that's how I get by. So yeah, this week's been good in that respect. I've had some really great coaching sessions with some really great goals being set for people now looking at the last quarter of this year, but looking at it with a real positive attitude, which I'm loving.
Yeah, I want us to dig into that when we're chatting and spread that feeling as well. And Caroline, what about yourself?
Well, it is a quiet time of year for me, and it always is. And years ago, when I was first started as a coach, I used to really panic, like, where's everyone gone? Where's business? It's July, it's August. What's happening? And now I know that I can plan and do other things and properly give myself time to get on with building for the future, basically. But so needless to say, I have been out a lot last week, and I went to the V&A to see the Alice in Wonderland exhibition, which was just my kind of heaven. I've been to see the Hockney show at the Royal Academy. I'm off to see the Paula Rego show. I'm doing very cultural things in London. I just want to bring London back, and I spent £35 on one cab drive the other day, and I said, I'm doing my bit for the economy. I'm getting out to the galleries, the restaurants, using black cabs. And it's lovely. The cab drivers, you always get a kind of barometer of how society is saying, oh yeah, it's really lovely to see particularly young people out and about, but they want the tourists back. They want people, the international visitors in the London hotels, back in town, really spending the big money. The hotels need it, and all the periphery businesses that thrive around the city need it. So it was lovely to see new life coming back. So yeah, I'm sensing the great positivity too.
And did you see, was there a difference this week? Or did you notice there's a growth this week then?
Well, there's a lot of people away in London. They've gone away for the holidays. So I tried to go on the M25 on Monday. It was an amazing mistake to make because there was millions of caravans and people going on holiday. But yeah, it's a little bit quieter. But, you know, mums are out with the children. People are having lunch. The weather helps. So yeah, I just sort of sense that it's slowly coming back. I hear that a lot of people are still very cautious, but I'm not seeing it.
Yeah. I've actually been really surprised, and I don't want to be negative, but actually I think this is actually a shift towards the acceptance of things, of people that are now getting COVID that I know who are sort of almost talking about it like they've got flu rather than some panicked attitude about it. I don't know whether I sense there's a little bit more rationale around going on, where people have sort of just thrown it into, oh yeah, I had COVID 2 weeks ago, but I'm feeling a bit better now. And I'm just getting a sense of us accepting that it is the new normal, like we accept flu, we take personal responsibility for it. And almost there wasn't this shock. I didn't sort of have an intake of breath this time when they said it. I said, "Oh, I'm really sorry. I hope you're feeling better soon." Do you know what I mean? Do you get what I mean about that?
Yeah, I think it's
Absolutely.
the double jabs. I think people are thinking it's not quite as life-threatening, perhaps it was a year and 5 months ago. So it's a sense of you can venture out now, and less not wearing a mask around a department store is a joy. Not always having to wear the mask. Obviously, on public transport, that's quite sensible. If you're the only one walking around the handbag department or whatever, it's nice just to take your time rather than, well, I just want to get this thing off. It's a little bit of normality back now, which is lovely.
Yeah. What about you, Sam? Are you noticing people being a little bit more relaxed about things?
Definitely so, and you're quite right. Now, every time you meet somebody is talking about their experience of COVID, and you're right. It used to be like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" Like how, and now it's like, "Oh, okay." Like you say, it's very much flu compared to this major illness that was literally killing thousands of people. So I think you're both right. The double jabbing is definitely helping. People's attitude, I think, is changing in many ways. Some people are now just so rebellious towards it because they've just had enough. So it's like, there's business as normal, there's life as normal, and we're going to carry on regardless. And now we've got our jab, that seems to be the green card for doing whatever people want now. But it is lovely having that freedom to choose whether you go wear a mask or not. Now I'm loving that.
Oh, it's such relief. I found myself. My technique is, I went into the supermarket and I saw everybody was wearing one, so I have one over my ear hanging. And if it's nobody around me, I just enjoy And then as soon as I feel there's somebody next to me, I put it on just for their comfort because I want to respect them. So I've sort of got a hybrid way of using it now. So in terms of what we're going to talk about this week.
I think that's, Penny, I think that's a really good point though, because my friend's daughter was saying to me yesterday that her daughter works in hospitality. So she said, I feel like, I want people to protect her because when you work in hospitality, you don't have a choice. So she said, every time I go into a restaurant, I will wear a mask because it's protecting people like my child. And I thought, actually, I've not thought of it that way. That's a really good, another sort of viewpoint to have when you're thinking about whether or not you want to wear a mask. Is it for you? Is it to protect others? And I just thought that was a really good, grounded, rounded way of looking at it, really.
Yeah, I think that is the way I'm looking at it now. More about, I think that was what they wanted us to do, is think about everyone else. And there was that peer pressure of you do it for others. But so in terms of our conversation today, we're going to sort of talk about, because we're not here in August. And so this was like the end of school term, isn't it? And I bet everybody's feeling that feeling of, gosh, that's my timetable finished. I wonder what my timetable is going to be like in September. And I feel a sense of organisation and a little bit more space in our lives to get that organisation. So, how can we help people move forward? Carol-Anne, when you're talking to clients at the moment with how they're doing, what sort of things can people think of going into August?
Well, what people are struggling with, and I think that's when you come to a coach because you are struggling with something, is motivation at the moment. And I think we've lost a momentum in business. A lot of people feeling, I've lost my momentum. I used to be able to just write my marketing material, do my newsletters, do my social media. And there's a sort of a sense of, I call it the damn duvet, the lead weighted duvet that suddenly comes down on you and you sort of think, I've got no inspiration, I can't seem to get, and then when they do, whatever it is that's been holding them back, it starts to flow again. So I think the main thing that I'm seeing at the moment is a sense of, how do I get my mojo back? How do I get into it again? And what would be exciting to look forward to? Because I do think you can aim for a goal, providing it's really compelling and you start to love the goal so much that you don't mind going through the daily grind to get there because you think it's worth it. Because I'm going to go. So goals should be delightful, compelling, and make your knees knock a little bit because they're a little bit scary too. But they're the ones that you kind of say to people, hey, guess what I'm going to have a go at? And they go, wow, that sounds amazing. So they sort of hold you accountable too. So I think people are thinking, what would be exciting? what is really thrilling? Because a lukewarm goal is like, oh, I'll lose 4 pounds, or I might get a couple more clients. It's kind of like, it's not earth shattering. But if you said, I lose a few pounds and I start to run, and maybe I'll do a 5K, that's a bit more of a compelling goal. Or I might do a new program that my clients are interested in, or a new range, or I might have a strategic alliance with another business. That's exciting. So I think right now people are kind of thinking, how can I get inspiration for something that's truly stupendous and will get me out of bed and off the sales pages for the day, you know? And that's what I'm working with, is helping people to feel really excited about their businesses again.
Yeah, I love that. And I'd love to talk to you about that, Sam, as well. And, you know, you talk about motivation, it's this mojo thing. One of the things that I suppose is wisdom and experience is that you always know your mojo will come back. And it's also almost not getting panicked, isn't it, about the fact that you're feeling a little bit, because that's just the need for a bit of a rest. And so almost, I think if you don't push against it sometimes as well, you can sort of say, right, I just know that I need a week off, and you know, whatever, just to and then almost, I think, get a little bit bored, allow yourself to get a little bit bored.
I think you're right. And I think myself and Caroline spoke about this last week. It's about recognizing your triggers, isn't it? Knowing when you're feeling that the mojo is slipping slightly, knowing when you're heading towards burnout, and what are your triggers and what are your medicines. You know, how can you prevent yourself, but also how can you give yourself that medicine and tonic that you need when you're in that spiral. But most of my coaching sessions, interestingly enough, this week, and it's a pure coincidence giving our topic today, but have been, okay, so we're just about to head into the last quarter of the year. Yes, you may be about to have some time off, but great time to think and reflect. And we're just about to do the same, us blondes, aren't we? So we're going to have August off of doing the show, but we're also going to take time to think, review and reflect on where this show is going and what we want from it too. So, and that's exactly the conversations I've been having with all of my clients this week. Take some time off in August. By all means, enjoy yourself. You deserve it. But also, let's come back and let's think about what you're going to hammer home for the rest of this year. And that's really exciting because, as Caroline said, there's some big goals happening because people are thinking, COVID's done, I'm double jabbed. It's time now to really kick some ass and just get some real momentum going for the last quarter of this year. So I'm really looking forward to seeing my clients again in September and looking at all the plans that I have held them accountable to writing for me.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant. And I think also it's, you know, in preparation for this, see what I do at the beginning of a year, I use a Moleskine diary. And at the back, I always do I don't know, I can show you this, a review. Oh, you can't really see this very well. But anyway, my detailed review of my year. And then I do write my goals. And so I was looking at my goals. Where are they in my goals that I wrote down? And some of them were they were things that were really bugging me, like my will. You know, I know I'm only 57, but I sort of have been frustrated with my parents about the fact that they left it till they were in their 90s and weren't transparent with us. So I wanted to write my will. I wanted to get the power of attorney set up. I wanted to bring in a new wealth manager into our lives. A pension. I wanted to review my pension. You know, there were those sorts of things as well that I think are big goals because they're boring and they're frustrating. And so some of them things that we might be reviewing is our personal goals as well. Some of the sort of admin around our personal life, aren't they? As well as our business goals.
I couldn't agree with you more, Penny, because this year I too have been putting off getting the wills written and the lasting power of attorney and thinking of a independent financial advisor to help me. And it's one of those that I just keep putting it off. And this year I thought there is no reason to put it off anymore. And I'm halfway through the process. I'll be very glad when it's done.
No, just
and it's all time. Yeah. And to have all those affairs sorted out and the grown-up responsible thing to do. And the other thing is with your business being grown up and responsible for that too. I think you can coast in your business if you are pulling in massive amounts of money. If you are so overhitting your financial targets, then that's pretty good coasting. If you're just getting by, which is a lot of us, or but a bit above that. You need a new injection of life. You need something to really lift you up, and I think that's a lot of people need that right now. It's like, I'm doing okay, but I need a bit of a rocket, and this is a time over the summer to think, what might that be? What can I let go of which isn't really serving me? Do I need to do a spring clean of my website? Because we all have cobwebs on the website that, I don't even use that bit anymore, but potential clients will see it. So have a review, have a spring clean of the old website. Think about all the things you're avoiding, which we talked about before. They're the things that might be the missing link in your business. Get out and network again when you can in September. That helps enormously. I think meeting people is far more exciting now than Zoom, obviously. It makes so much difference being able to meet someone's eye and smile and relax a bit more, and without the self-consciousness of looking at your face all the time. And I think it's about using this over the summer in a productive way. But equally, someone said to me this morning, have you booked time off? And I said, I had a lovely week last week. I knew I had a quiet week, so I took some time off. So, but that's not the same as booking a week off.
No, absolutely. And Sam, so the other thing is this positive reflection, because you this year have achieved a massive amount with your home, haven't you, and things. And it's also time to say, actually, rather than just blend it into your life, look at what I have achieved by this time of the year.
Yeah, and I think that something else that I do with my clients every week is I ask them to write to me a written review. And the heading of that, the first heading is what's gone right, what's gone really well. Because as Brits, we're notoriously bad at recognising, and we've spoken about this many times. So what is great about reaching the halfway point of the year or having this time to reflect on what we're going to achieve for the last quarter is, if everyone's done it correctly, they've got so many weeks now of weekly reviews that they can then look back on and go, okay, so how was I feeling back in February, and what's changed? What was I achieving back in February? What am I not achieving now? What are my challenges back in February, and look how I've overcome them. So they're really great tools. And like I say, if they're done correctly, if they're done religiously and disciplined, they're a really great arm for looking at, okay, so this is where I'm at, this is what I've dealt with, this is what I've achieved, look at what I've achieved, and look at how I've celebrated, or have I celebrated. So it's just a really good tool for helping you do that self-reflection and celebration.
So if we look at some of the mindset around things, because I was thinking, why people saying I'm so busy, or is it something behind that, which is they haven't got the right boundaries, or are they disorganized, or are they lacking focus? And whilst they might not be feeling really busy now, they may reflect and think, that was quite an overwhelming first half of the year. And I thought about, how can people help to understand what it is that maybe they've not achieved their goals? What would their reasons be? I thought I'd share one of the things that I really decided at the beginning of the year. Focus and discipline to me is so important, but also the way I do that is by breaking it down numerically, as you two know. And last year, September, we set a goal of finding 100 new clients, and we said it would take, we thought 18 months, and we broke that down to how many clients we need to find to join our DIP 100 group. And actually having that, where Thomas and I are working together on it, saying, we've actually got a chart that has all the up on the wall, handwritten the 100 spaces, and we count them off, and about 6 a month join. And it's amazing for the discipline and the focus around our business. Do you think that's something people should think about, Carol Ann, as we go into the new period?
I think it's great that you've got Thomas. Having a business partner does help you enormously, and someone who's really on side with you. And I was saying to someone this morning, I could really do with someone who knows what I'm doing and is on side in business with me like that. When you were saying about what is it that takes time and why people haven't got time and they're always busy, sorry about my connection's making a funny noise here. Sometimes it's giving too much time to other people and not prioritizing yourself. Sometimes, and I hate to say this, and the bottom line is it can be low self-esteem. You're not valuing yourself and your time sufficiently. Being late, not being punctual is a sign of low self-esteem. So you might need a coach. So it is really thinking about, where's my time going? Why am I busy? Is it busy or productive? What's happening here?
I think you're right. I had exactly the same conversation with a client this morning about time. You know, I was asking her to commit to something, and she said, "Oh, let me look in my diary for next week. And I'm doing this, I'm doing that, and I'm doing this." And I'm like, you really need to learn to say no, because all of those things you're doing are brilliant for other people, but actually it's not helping you achieve what you want to achieve. You're very kind and you're very lovely, and people are loving spending time with you. However, you want to be here, and the reason you're not potentially is because you're saying yes to everybody else apart from yourself, which is not being kind to yourself, is it? So you're absolutely right. It's having that confidence to go, no, this is what I need to achieve this week, and I need to be selfish. I need to look after myself, and sometimes it feels selfish. Sometimes it really does, but we need it.
Yeah, one of the ways I overcame that, actually, sorry, Caroline, because I had this sort of come to Jesus moment with my psychologist 3 years ago about why you give so much, is that one of the ways that I did it is I now think of my business as something that I have to respect. I am a resource within my business. And my business has a commitment to a lot of clients, and my business needs to be successful. And therefore, I treat myself like an employee, if you see what I mean, of a business that has to perform. And part of performance is not being poor with my time and having those boundaries. So if I was employing someone to be a sales manager in my business, and they were sitting down and they were saying, well, I haven't achieved my numbers because I helped this person, I helped that person, and I had a lovely time. And I'd be saying, that's fantastic. So how are you going to have a default diary that says 4 hours a week? I can do that. But the rest of your time, you've got to respect the business. Do you know what I mean, Caroline? I know you were going to say something. I
do. I work with a lot of very nice people like you, Penny, really lovely people. And they say, I want to help and I want to do this. And I was helping someone out with that, and it took longer than I thought. And I say, you have to be responsibly selfish. And that doesn't mean being an ignorant pig sort of thing. It means I have to look after myself first, be responsible for my health, my well-being, my business, my income. Then when I'm being responsibly selfish, I've got more time that I can give to others, because I've taken care of business on every level. There's no point, as Tim's always saying, you can't run on empty, you can't pour from an empty cup. But responsible selfishness means I've done my exercise, I've balanced my books, I've done my marketing, I've done everything I need to do. Now I've got a bit of time, I can give a bit more value to other people. But if you're only giving value to other people and getting into their stories, you can't possibly be doing the same for yourself. And it is about knowing the balance. And I like that thing, which is almost like you can have a fund of goodwill, which you can give to people once you've done what you have to do for you, your body, your mind, and your business. Because I always think body, mind first, because if you're feeling really ill and tired and in burnout, your business will be the first thing that goes down. So it has to be that body, mind, then business. And then family, friends, or, after that. But obviously it's getting the balance here. But also knowing what is taking too much time. If you're not good at marketing, get someone to do it. If you're not technological, get a techie, geeky person to help you. It could be things like that are taking your time up. I know that if I was left to do tech stuff, I'd be on here 3 a.m, because it's not my natural way. But I have people who help me now, and that's worth the investment. It frees me up to do the stuff that is going to bring in clients and give me business.
I think in general, women are, I know this is very stereotypical, but women are very good at managing time, much better than men, I find anyway. Because, if you just take these, the time that we're in right now, just about to go into August, we're all in school holiday time. So we're having to juggle. And it very much is a juggling. I remember the days when mine were little that I used to have a spreadsheet, which is very organised for me, because you all know I'm a wing it, lastminute.com girl. But I used to have at the beginning of the 6 weeks holidays a spreadsheet, and I used to pass it to my mum and my sister and my mother-in-law and said, can you just fill out which days you can do, please? But it worked a treat because they were all, wanting to help. And then I'd say to my husband, okay, so you need to have this time off and I'll have this time off. And then, we sort of held our breath. And then before we knew it, we were at the end of the 6 weeks and we'd done it. But that took discipline, it took a focus, but actually I loved it because what it meant for me is the days that I'm in the office, I knew obviously the boys were being taken care of, they were having fun, and because everybody knew when they were having them, they'd plan really great days out with them, so they were having a great time. I could be the best coach that I wanted to be at the time, and what I needed to be for my clients, because I didn't have that worry, I didn't have to juggle. So not like today when, I've done a bit with clients this morning and then I had a sort of hour off with the boys and I'm back here, and I hate those days because I feel like I can't be 100% at any one thing. I'm just being about 40% at everything. So that's what I find.
It's much harder as your children get older because they don't necessarily want to be babysat, do they? But you know that they're at home and you want to be with them. It's you're at a new, and many people maybe listening to this is that sort of transition age, isn't it? Which is a harder juggle.
And yeah, it is. And for my eldest one, I'm just a taxi, so I'm just there to provide lunch and a lift. So it's what time does he want picking up from where, and the little one just dives in and out with me, whether he wants me or not. But you're right, absolutely. It's different holidays this year.
Yeah, so it's only 4 minutes left. So I'm going to try and get more pink time. That's one of my things. And I always think about this, Carol-Anne. I always think of you. It's like you're inside my heart. And I got a real shock when I went on the weighing scales. I haven't been on it for ages and I knew things weren't going well, but oh my God, I have to do it for my health. So I'm going to try, or I am going to, from September, have Monday morning and Friday afternoons off for me. Oh, good. How scary is that? And Ross has just said to me, do I want to go swimming every Thursday morning with him? He's getting ready for a triathlon. So I'm going to start doing that. And so I'm actually going to block stuff out. Is there anything you guys are going to do differently as you're moving on?
Well, my big plan for the autumn is my academy again starts, but I'm each week I'm taking extra notes because the plan is that I need to write an operations manual so that I might franchise it one day. Yay! Thank you. But I'm so long in the tooth. I'm a saber-toothed coach. My teeth are this long. I get bored of doing things. I've been doing it for 18 years now. So I've got to have a new thing. I'm not blowing my own trumpet, but I've done loads of things in business. I'm sure you all have. And there's not many things that light my fire. And I think, when you're younger, you think, I want that. I want to do that. That person's doing what I want to do. I never see that myself. So this next thing is my big golden carrot, my big business challenge, my last hurrah, and I'm kind of looking forward to it because for a long while I didn't have a goal, and when you don't have a goal, it's the same old. So I would say to everyone, have a really compelling, delightfully delicious, making your knees knock, everyone's holding you accountable goal, and that gets your engines revving up, because without that it's just kind of you might as well have a job.
Absolutely. Oh, I'm so excited you're going to do that, Carol-Anne, because you can help so many people give birth to their businesses. And I love it. And Sam, have you got anything that, as you're moving into August period, reflecting and thinking into the future?
I just wrote on the chat because I like that, Carol-Anne, when you say if your goals make your knees knock. And I say to my clients, if they don't make you nervous, then they ain't big enough, because the goals have got to make you a little bit nervous, which means you're just stepping out of your comfort zone. So there are a few things that I want to do at the end of this year. I've just won another government contract, which I'm excited about delivering, which starts very, very soon. So that will push me out of my comfort zone like it did last year. And you're right, Penny, when it comes to personal goals as well. I used to love yoga and I used to make time for it every Monday morning. It was in my diary. I never missed it. I went to a class, I turned up. And I've got out the habit of doing that because of it went online, and so I slowly did it online, and then I don't do anything. So that's something that I'm going to revisit. Could I take Monday mornings off again and go back to yoga? But you just inspired that. Thank you.
Oh, bless you. Well, we're nearly at the half an hour into our show, which is fantastic. So moving forward, I suppose our little tips as we go through. Sam, have you got anything you'd like to wish everybody a lovely August, and anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, have an amazing summer. Enjoy yourself. Take time out, reflect, write a review. It really helps, I promise.
Yeah, lovely. And Carol-Anne?
Have rainbow dreams. I've got this on my desk. There we are. Ooh, I love a bit of glitter. I'm not even from Essex. And and keep that in your handbag or your briefcase or your backpack. You might be having a drink. You might be on the beach, and suddenly you'll get a little moment of, oh, that's a great idea. Put it on your phone. You won't see it. Put it in a notebook. It makes it real. So always have a little notebook with you to capture the inspiration. That's my holiday tip.
Oh, that is lovely. And I think mine is, you have permission to make really big changes in your life. And I did this back 3 years ago, and I've never been happier. And I reviewed my business life and the things that I didn't feel were right for me. I realized that my ambitions weren't in line with the sort of person I was. I wasn't working with the type of clients I wanted to work with. I have just finished coaching someone who said, I'm going to give a year to a new idea, and if it doesn't suit me, I'm just going to close it all down. And I'm so proud of this person for doing that, because you are the boss of your life. And so just think this summer about what is really making you happy. And it is amazing how you can redesign your life if it isn't making you happy.
Yeah.
So on that subject, I think we could all wish everybody a very happy summer. And thank you for watching us for over a year now. And we look forward to seeing you in September.
Have fun, guys. Happy summer.